Hello everybody, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life and welcome back to 30 Days of Sketches 5. We are on to day 11 and today I really want to work with Sparkle City from Chamel. Now, I do not have very much. This came in a kit I received from the Secret Not Secret Kit Club, and it was a kind of a combination of Creativation from last year. And so I got 3 pieces of paper and really fun. So I love this piece as is, so I probably will use this as my background, and then I'll use these double-sided for the rest of it to do with the sketch. We're working with a Sketch Savvy sketch today, designed by Susan Stringfellow. I love her sketches, they are beautiful. I have a little bit of washi tape and also a small alpha there. I also went ahead and cut out I did it pretty small. This is from Confessions of a Paper Addict, and it's not the hot air balloons I want, but I just wanted to include some of those clouds because they really look like the clouds in that pattern paper. So let's get started, see what I can do. I have like 6 different photo options, so we'll see what I do and what happens and where this layout takes me. Okay, so I'm going to start off by going ahead and picking up this piece of pattern paper first. Now, my goal basically was to go with the purple one, which we already knew was going to be my background, and then go from the really pretty cloud paper, because that was my second favorite piece, and work my way down. And I knew my photo needed to be backed with one of these, and I wasn't sure which one it was going to be at first. I also had to figure out which photo I was going to use. I wanted to do a couple of the other ones, but the orientation would have been wrong, and I'm not sure how I would have made this sketch work if I had rotated it. I'm sure I could. I should challenge myself to try to do it too, but I decided for this case I wasn't going to, so it kind of put me down to just this photo of Nora being silly with my glasses in the car. Super sweet photo. So I'm just going to go with it. Why make things complicated when I don't have to? She matches the collection almost perfectly anyways. So I love it. I'm going to go with it. So I back that with the yellow bit, which is the back side of the cloud paper. And that will be my very first layer. And then I still want a little bit of the yellow to be there. I just wasn't sure how I was going to make it work, because of course now it's backed and you don't want yellow on yellow because that would be a little bit too much yellow. So what I end up deciding to go with is taking the yellow, the off cut of what I was using, I'm going to turn that into the strips. So you can see that there are vertical strips in the sketch as well, and I'm going to go ahead and take that to be where I put the yellow so that it is a nice and pleasing look to the eye. Now, of course, I want there to be more layers, and I want to use all 4 sides of these 2 pattern papers, so I just work and build it up as I want it to be. I really like the words on the other side of that pattern paper. However, within this collection and within the layout I'm trying to create, it doesn't need to be a feature for this particular layout. So eventually I will try to do one more layout. Again, I only have these papers and I've used up one full 12 by 12 as my background, and then I used up a lot to do the layering. So I don't have a ton of it, but I think there's enough there that I can either do a really cool traveler's notebook or one more layout where that particular pattern paper is a little bit more featured within that layout. So hopefully I'll get that done, before I move in September. I have a lot of ideas on my plate right now, especially being home because we're not doing anything and we have no idea when we get to go back to work. There's just so much stuff flying through my head, and I want to do it all at once, and of course that's not possible. So eventually it will happen. Now, I try really hard to get some washing on this layout, and it just doesn't happen. I tried. I even thought, however, like the circles, I should try and do some circles. I don't get circles on this layout. I couldn't make all of that work. I didn't feel like it called for circles within my particular story. And so I just decided not to. And instead of having the circles, I instead replaced that with the cut files I wanted to use of the clouds that helped bring out that beautiful pattern paper that's hiding underneath everything anyway, so you can barely see it, but that's not the point. So I replaced circles with clouds, which is always an option when you're working with sketches. If there's a certain feature of the sketch that you don't like, but you can see that it brings harmony to the sketch, pick something else that's going to work to replace that particular part of the sketch. Or just completely eliminate it and see if you are happy with the way that looks without that particular element as well. Another option there. So I wanted it to have just a little bit of something. Now, I could have honestly, with just the gesso, making the pattern paper look different colored shades of purple, I could have probably just left it like that. I didn't need to actually add any mixed media. But what I ended up doing was using a little bit of my princess vibe, and I just put a little bit, I just made it super watered down, and I just sprayed a little bit. So you can see it there, super, super subtle. I don't even know if you would know it was there if I hadn't said something, because it is pretty subtle. But I wanted that little bit of extra there. And then because I didn't end up doing washi or anything up in that corner, I'm just going to do my classic fold over there using the yellow and the cloud paper so that that cloud paper is represented again. And I have that visual triangle of yellow that you all know I love to do. And I will put in a cloud on top of that as well. So there is an element up there. But of course, you can see that my title is down at the bottom. And I just titled it, She Is No Ordinary Girl. I found that in my, I have a board on Pinterest that just says titles, and when I don't really have anything that needs to be said and it can just be a cute title, I go there, find something that works with my photos, and I use that as a title. So my titles aren't always the same. I like to have different titles personally, so I went ahead and did that. And then I went through, my daughter has a little container of embellishments that are specific to her, and I have one of that for my boys too, and I went through all of it and tried to find pieces that I thought would work. I seriously, you're gonna watch me look at all of it. What I decided to go with is the little swan, because swans aren't ordinary, they're unique. So I went ahead and did that. And then I also find a pair of glasses, which is perfect because of course she's wearing my glasses. So that really helps kind of emphasize the story that I'm trying to tell. And I also find this little hello. I don't think it was in her little bin, but I found it in the yellow bin that I have. I also have my embellishment sorted by color, so it depends on what the particular embellishment is where it goes within my system. And so I put a little bit up at the corner on the top left there, and it just has a nice little flow, and I really love the way that this layout turns out. I also took a nod from Daisy and backed my cut file with vellum so that there was something underneath it to kind of hide the pattern paper a little bit. But you guys, that does it. So it's Sunday, so please make sure you head on over and check out JQ Crafty. She's joining us on Sundays. And then, of course, we've got Moira and Daisy and Shannon and Crystal and Jen over on Instagram. So their links will all be below. I hope everyone is having a lovely Easter, and I will see everyone tomorrow. I'm just going to finish up and you'll see my finished layout. I did do some stitching around the edge just to kind of bring it all together and have my title with the word girl match within the rest of the layout. Thanks everyone. Bye.